Modern dating advice often tells men to go no contact or pull away to make a woman miss them. But this approach is often misunderstood and misused. True strength in relationships doesn't come from silent treatment or emotional games. It comes from a deeper, quieter confidence, a sense of self that doesn't waver based on someone else's actions. In this guide, we're going to break down why the most powerful men don't chase, don't beg, and don't shrink themselves to win anyone back. Instead, they focus inward, evolve with intention, and in doing so, they naturally shift the entire dynamic. If you've ever felt stuck in the emotional tug of war of modern relationships, this is for you. Many people swear by the no contact rule like it's some kind of Jedi mind trick to make a woman miss you. The premise is simple. Vanish like a magician, and she'll suddenly realize you were the best thing since oat milk lattes and come sprinting back. But here's the thing. This idea is based on a wildly optimistic misunderstanding of human psychology, especially how women actually respond to emotional distance. Sure, no contact can work. In the same way, a hammer can be useful, but you wouldn't use it to fix a leaky faucet. The point here is that context matters. In reality, if you use no contact the wrong way, it doesn't scream strength. It whispers insecurity. Instead of vanishing like you're starring in your own breakup-themed comedy, the real power lies in what I like to call strategic detachment. Translation? You're not ghosting her. You're just choosing not to orbit her emotional solar system like a lovesick moon. Because, and this is very important, women are emotionally intuitive. If you're using silence as a ploy instead of acting from genuine confidence, she'll sniff it out faster than she spots a fake Louis Vuitton purse. Going no contact as a tactic, with one eye on your phone, waiting for a "Hey stranger" text, gives her all the power. You're not moving on. You're playing emotional peekaboo. And trust me, if she senses even a whiff of desperation under your cool guy act, she'll be gone faster than your Wi-Fi when you need it most. Most women don't chase mystery when it smells like manipulation. They want confidence, not games. They're biologically and emotionally wired to seek men who radiate stability and direction, not guys who fall silent, hoping their absence will become profound. If you disappear without real purpose, she may wonder where you went for about a minute. Then she'll shrug, assume you're off crying into your Spotify breakup playlist, and move on. Emotional withdrawal without substance doesn't build attraction. It just confirms her decision to walk away. She might even think if he actually respected himself, he wouldn't need to pull this rom-com nonsense. And there's your plot twist. The power doesn't lie in being absent. It lies in how you show up when you are present. Strategic detachment isn't about blocking her on every app. It's about redirecting your focus so completely that she feels your shift, not your silence. You don't disappear. You evolve. You stop investing your energy in her and start pouring it into something that matters more. Your purpose, your passions, your peace. That's the move. Because the second you stop reacting to her like she's got a remote control for your emotions, the second you stop letting her every little action send you into emotional spirals, boom, you take back control. Most women expect men to chase. It's practically hardwired into modern dating scripts. They expect tears, texts, and maybe a sad meme or two. But when you break that pattern, when you don't play your expected part, you create unpredictability. And guess what? Unpredictability is where attraction lives and breathes. Think about it. What's more powerful? Vanishing into thin air and hoping she notices your absence, or staying visible while being so laser focused on your own growth that she starts wondering, wait, Why doesn't he flinch when I post a story anymore? When a woman senses that you're no longer emotionally tethered to her every move, it stirs something deep and instinctual. She begins to question her choices, her judgment, and, most importantly, your true value. That's exactly why no contact fails when it's rooted in insecurity rather than strength. If you're just sitting there crossing days off your mental calendar, waiting for her to text like it's emotional advent, guess what? You're not detached. You're just auditioning for the role of man who pretends not to care. And women? They are emotional detectives. They can tell when you're performing detachment versus actually embodying it. If you want to leave a real impression, it's not about ignoring her. It's about becoming so self-validated and centered that your presence feels like a gravitational shift. The secret sauce here is self-sufficiency. When a woman realizes you don't need her to feel whole, that you're not fueled by her attention, her entire view of you changes. You stop being predictable and start becoming intriguing. She may have assumed you would spiral without her, post vague quotes on your story, or text her something dramatic like, "Hope you're happy." But when she sees you focused, building, improving, not as a performance, but because you actually care about your evolution, she starts to second guess herself. That's not punishment, that's power. And no, it doesn't require being cold or aloof. You're not out for revenge. You're simply showing her and yourself that you don't orbit her approval anymore. When a man operates from purpose, something beyond her, something real and fulfilling, she begins to reassess. She starts to wonder if she walked away from someone rare. That lingering doubt, that quiet realization, it hits harder than any delayed text ever could. So don't just disappear. Evolve. Don't play emotional hide and seek. Dive so deeply into your own growth that your transformation speaks louder than silence ever could. That's how you shift the dynamic. That's how you become the man she doesn't just miss, but genuinely regrets losing. Most men think their only two choices when a woman pulls away are to either chase her like a rom-com hero or ghost her like a haunted ex. But both of those reactions come from the same place: emotional dependency. When you chase, you're broadcasting neediness. When you vanish without genuine detachment, you're still dancing to her emotional rhythm. The real move? Controlled indifference. Not apathy, not bitterness, just calm, steady self-respect that says, "I'll be good either way, but you'll notice if I'm gone." Controlled indifference doesn't mean you stop caring entirely. You're not turning into an emotionless robot or walking around like a heartbroken statue. It's not bitterness. It's not coldness. It's confidence. It's strength. It's the quiet shift that says, "I care, but not at the cost of my peace." Controlled indifference means you emotionally detach in a way that elevates your value, not by making noise, but by redirecting your focus to things that truly matter, without the need for dramatic exits or philosophical Instagram quotes. This is where most men stumble. They mistake detachment for the silent treatment. Or worse, passive-aggressive behavior disguised as stoic wisdom. But here's the truth. A woman can feel when your silence isn't strength. It's strategy. She can sense when your emotional absence is less about growth and more about waiting in the shadows, hoping she finally gets it. And that's not detachment. That's just neediness in costume. Real controlled indifference is about reclaiming your emotional state like it is sacred ground. When she pulls back, when she tests your value by creating distance, how you respond becomes everything. Most guys either go into full-blown damage control or retreat into ghost mode, hoping she'll chase the mystery. But the man who truly gets it, he does neither. He stays steady. He keeps living, keeps building, keeps laughing, not to make a point, but because his life never revolved around her in the first place. And the women notice that. They're drawn to men with depth, men who aren't ruled by impulse or validation. When you overreact to her pulling away, you're telling her loud and clear, my emotional stability depends on you. And honestly, that's one of the fastest ways to lose respect. But when you hold your ground, calm, centered, progressing, something shifts. She starts to wonder if she misunderstood you, if maybe she underestimated what she walked away from. That's the beauty of controlled indifference. It doesn't create pressure, it creates reflection. She's expecting you to scramble. She's expecting the grand gesture, the over-explanation, the panicked check-in. But when you don't show up with any of that, and instead you show up for yourself, she feels the absence in a very different way. Not because you disappeared, but because you stopped orbiting her. The real key? You can't fake this. You can't quietly chant, I'm over her, while checking your phone every 5 minutes for a notification that never comes. Women can smell emotional dishonesty like smoke in the air. If you tell yourself you're letting go just to get her attention, she will feel the performance and she will tune out. Controlled indifference only works when it's real, when you've truly shifted your internal focus away from her and toward your own evolution. Not as a trick, not as a tactic, but as a transformation. This shift in mindset isn't just about relationships. It's about how you move through the world. A man who can control his emotions, who doesn't let every external hiccup send him into a spiral, is the kind of man who naturally commands respect. And let's be real, respect is the bedrock of attraction. When a woman sees that you're centered, that her attention is not your emotional oxygen, she starts to reevaluate. She begins to wonder if she ever really understood your value, or if she mistook calm strength for indifference. Controlled indifference is also a matter of timing. Many men tap out too soon. They expect instant fireworks, like she's going to feel the shift and immediately come sprinting back with a handwritten apology and a playlist of regret songs. But it doesn't work like that. It takes time for her to feel the change in your energy, to notice your focus has turned elsewhere. And ironically, it's that delay that makes the shift so powerful. The moment she senses you're no longer sitting around waiting for her to come to her senses, that's the moment uncertainty creeps in. And uncertainty? That's rocket fuel for attraction. When a woman knows exactly how a man feels and knows she can have him with zero resistance, there's no tension, no mystery. But when she starts to feel like maybe, just maybe, she misjudged his interest, that's when things shift. That's when she starts to miss him. Not because he played games, but because he created space. And in that space, her own emotions start to speak louder than anything he could have said or done. What makes this approach beautiful is that it serves you either way. If she comes back, it's because she made the choice, not because you chased, begged, or twisted yourself into a human emoji. And if she doesn't, you still win. Why? Because you've been building something better than a text thread. You've been building yourself. A life that's fulfilling, independent, and whole, with or without her. That's not loss. That's growth. That's power. Now here's where most men go wrong. They believe that the more affection they show, the more attention they give, the more emotionally open they become, the better their chances. It's the classic, let me prove I'm a good guy approach. But in reality, this often backfires. Not because love and loyalty aren't appreciated, but because when those things are on tap 24/7 with no uncertainty, the emotional engagement fades. Think about the things that captivate us the most. The thrill of a new challenge, the suspense of a good movie, the anticipation of something just out of reach. These are the moments that hold our attention. The same psychology applies to attraction. When a woman always knows exactly where she stands with you, when there's no mystery, no unpredictability, something vital gets lost. It's not that she wants drama or neglect. It's just that predictability is the silent killer of desire. And that's why understanding the power of emotional distance isn't just useful, it's essential. This isn't about withholding love or playing manipulative games. It's about creating enough space for her to feel the absence of your presence. It's about giving her the room to miss you, to wonder, to question, to reflect. Most men don't allow this to happen. They rush to fill every silence, respond to every message within seconds, and offer reassurance before she's even had the chance to feel an ounce of uncertainty. In doing so, they unknowingly rob her of the very emotions that create attraction. Because here's the truth. Women are emotional beings. They don't fall in love because a man made a logical PowerPoint presentation of his qualities. They fall in love because something moved them, because they felt something. And one of the most powerful feelings a woman can experience is the realization that she might be losing something valuable. When a man is too readily available, too eager to give without pause, she may appreciate him, but appreciation isn't the same as desire. This is where emotional distance becomes less of a tactic and more of an art form. A man who understands this doesn't toss his attention around like free samples. He doesn't rush to validate or over-explain. He knows that space is not the enemy. It's the stage where attraction performs. He allows pauses. He allows questions to form. He creates moments where she's left wondering what he's thinking, how he's feeling, whether she still has his full attention. And in those moments, he stirs curiosity. And curiosity, more than charm or compliments, or even chemistry, is the spark that keeps attraction alive. Now, this doesn't mean becoming a cold, unreadable mystery man who broods in the shadows. It simply means not being an open book with every page dog-eared and highlighted. When everything about you is laid out with total transparency, there's no room left for imagination. And imagination is where emotions start to dance. Men who resist this idea usually do so out of fear. They worry that if they don't constantly remind her of their interest, she'll lose interest altogether. But the truth is just the opposite. When a man is always available, always seeking to please, always handing over his emotional energy without hesitation, she has no reason to lean in, no need to invest, no space to chase. I know this message resonated with you. So hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and turn on the notifications. We will be going even deeper into the effectiveness of strategic detachment in part 2 of this video. Please go watch part 2 now.